I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Media silent as Allison Mack's arrest exposes child trafficking for billionaire-backed sex slave ring here at the Free Thought Project. Good afternoon, everyone. It is April 27th, 2018. I'm Eric, and this is Kill the State, Live Free YouTube channel. If you appreciate knowing about the evils of this world, please like, share, and subscribe. Here we are again at the Free Thought Project, and the media is silent as child sex trafficking, or as Allison Mack's arrest exposes child sex trafficking or child trafficking for billionaire-backed sex slave ring. I mean, look at this woman. She looks normal. She looks like a woman you might walk past at Walmart or any given grocery store, right? She looks pretty average. And this is the same kind of person that would speak out against, say, Harvey Weinstein for groping and all that shit for women. I think that Me Too movement was basically a way for these motherfuckers to get out of the limelight for their evil deeds when it comes to children, sacrifice, and much other bad shit. A whole bunch. Okay, so as more details emerge in the case of the elite Hollywood sex cult NXIVM, it seems that the story goes even deeper than first reported. There is a growing evidence that this alleged self-help group was just a front for a human trafficking ring. It has also been revealed that this group has close ties with high-powered ruling class families, including the Rothschilds, Clintons, and Bronfmans. I never even heard of that family. According to the charges, Smallville actress Allison Mack was a member of the cult and worked in a management position. As second in command, it was her job to lure women into the program under the pretense of female empowerment and self-help workshops, to then convince them to sign up for a more advanced program called, I'm not going to even, DOS is what I'm going to call it. It's Dominus, I just can't do it. I'm going to have to look that one up. Which requires these women to basically turn their lives over to the cult leader, Keith Raniere. Okay. That phrase that I can't pronounce, it translates to master over the slave woman. Nice. Nice. When women joined Raniere's inner circle, they were forced to sign over their finances to him, starve themselves to maintain a certain weight, and even had them surgically branded with his initials. Raniere would use blackmail to keep the women from speaking out by collecting nude photos and damaging evidence on family members. And look, this guy, Raniere, he's operating the very same way, say, one of the roundtable groups would operate, or does operate, when it comes to politicians. They use their family history they use their homosexuality, like, oh, what's that fucker's name? I live in a state. What is his name? He's one of the worst warhawks, too. Oh. You know what? I completely drew a blank on that one. Damn. It's driving me crazy now. Oh, anyway, the senator from South Carolina, he's a faggot, okay? And he's used by the Zionists to promote Zionist shit like wars for Israel and all that. So... Okay, as alleged in the... Yeah, I already did that. No, I didn't. Okay. As alleged in the indictment, Allison Mack recruited women to join what was purported to be a female mentorship group that was in fact created and led by Keith Raniere. The victims were then exploited both sexually and for their labor to the defendant's benefit. U.S. Attorney Richard R. Donahue said in a statement, "Motherfuckers need to go be hung from the gallows. Hang them from the first tree that you find." The cult was finally exposed when the daughter of former Dynasty actress Catherine Oxenberg became a member. Oxenberg told the New York Times that she became concerned after she saw that her 26-year-old daughter, India, was extremely emaciated from dieting and was suffering from serious health problems. Some people have said this is a voluntary sorority. The women I have spoken to tell a far different story, Oxenberg said. Coercion is not voluntary. Extortion is not voluntary. Blackmail is not voluntary. When these accusations hit the news, other women, including actress Sarah Edmondson, came forward to tell the same story of the blackmail, the branding, as well as forced labor and forced sexual activity. Raniere is also accused of having a history of pedophilia with accusations that stretch back for over 20 years involving girls as young as 12. You know what needs to happen to this motherfucker. He needs to be hung from the first tree that you can find. In 2012, several women were interviewed by the Albany Times Union about the coercive sex experiences that they had with Raniere when they were young girls. One of the women in the case was found dead of a gunshot wound before she was able to give the interview. Her death was ruled a suicide. I don't believe that shit for a minute. The U.S. Attorney's Office requested to have Raniere held without bail in a letter to the court stating that he was a known child predator. And here's a part of that letter here. I'm going to go back up and read that section. Okay. They say the defendant has a decades-long history of abusing women and girls. According to confidential sources, the defendant has repeated sexual encounters with multiple teenage girls in the mid to late 1980s and early 90s. In one instance, the defendant met a 15-year-old girl while he was in his 20s and had repeated sexual contact with her. In another instance, the defendant met a 12-year-old girl whose mother worked for the defendant and began tutoring her. Shortly thereafter, the defendant began having regular sexual intercourse with her, including at his home, where he lived with multiple adult sexual partners. One of those partners hired the girl to walk her dog, giving the defendant daily access to the girl. Although this extremely important detail is being left out of most mainstream media reports, one of the main charges in the criminal indictment against Raniere and Mack is sex trafficking of children. And it's about fucking time people started getting taken down for this. Now, I take it very personally as a parent that people do this to children. I mean, I can't imagine one of my children being captured by these fucking scum, you know, the senators, the billionaires, the bankers, the Rothschilds, the fucking royal family, to have them terrorized so that their adrenal gland pumps out adrenaline to their blood and then killed and bled out for that blood. I couldn't imagine, and if something like that were to happen to my kid, I honestly would go on a murder spree, the likes of which this fucking country has never seen. And it wouldn't be innocent people that I target. It would be, well, it would be the extremely rich. It is they who are into this kind of perversion, this child victimization. So why not make them the target? And they go on to say, exactly why the media is refusing to report on this remains a mystery. Another aspect of this case is that has been largely overlooked is that connections that this organization has to high-level figures in politics and finance. Again, that's why I would target these people if one of my children were a victim of theirs. And they are, in a way, already by their corruption, but I'm talking about direct physical victimization here. The organization worked much like a pyramid scheme, collecting regular fees from its members, but the majority of the funding, over $150 million, came from the trust funds of Seagram, Harris, Sarah, and Claire Bronfman. Their involvement with Raniere began in 2002 and has been very public and controversial, with other members of the Bronfman family distancing themselves from the sisters in the press. The Bronfman family has very close ties to the Rothschild banking dynasty, with members of both families belonging to many of the same companies, including their joint financial firm, Bronfman and Rothschild. So, are you seeing a picture of why I would target the ruling elite, the banksters, the billionaires? I mean, they should be targets. They should be targets for everybody. Okay. Additionally, at least 3 high-ranking members of the organization, including Nancy Saisman, some shit like that, and the Bronfman sisters, are members of Bill Clinton's foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, which requires an annual fee of $15,000. Now that Raniere is in jail and Mack is on bail and ordered not to have any contact with any other cult members, Claire Bronfman has taken on the role of leader within the organization. So they're not even going to let the fact that the motherfucker that created the organization and is second in command got busted. They're going to continue these perverse practices. In response to the recent controversy surrounding NXIVM, Brofman made a statement on her website denying the accusations against Raniere. She praised Raniere and the NXIVM programs, insisting that she is doing work that is truly helping people, and that no one has ever been coerced as part of their workshops. Frank Parlato, a former NXIVM publicist turned whistleblower, told the New York Post that Brofman is among the harshest leaders in the organization. Quote, "She's the enforcer, the brutal one. Claire's running the operation now, and she's the most ruthless of them. I'm issuing an absolute warning now. Claire Brofman is a true fanatic, and if there's a Jim Jones situation, everyone will commit suicide but her." End quote. Of Allison Mack, Paletto said that she was a troubled woman who was both a victim and now an abuser. Mack was both a victim and a victimizer. She was both a mastermind and Raniere's useful idiot. She started as a slave and she became a slave master. Her nickname among defectors is Pimp Mack. And it's highly possible that this is a position that Mack was groomed for since she was a child, as many childhood stars turned from victim to predators as a result of what they often experience behind the scenes in the industry. Oddly enough, one of Mack's very finest roles was in a softcore porn movie called Night Eyes 3. She was just 11 years old at the time. Below you can see the full charges against Mack and Raniere. So, I don't know if it's, the Trump administration getting these people, or just the chickens coming home to roost for these people. But either way, these motherfuckers, all of them, need to be fucking hung. They need to be hung or put in Gitmo for the rest of their lives. They don't need to be free to steal the children of some fucking poor war refugee or something like that, and abusing them in every way you can imagine. We live in a sick fucking world. A sick fucking world with sick fucking people, and the normal people need to start weeding out the sick fucking people. And what I mean by sick fucking people is anybody who thinks it is acceptable to harm a child. Anybody who thinks it's acceptable to enslave a nation. Sick. And they all need to be dealt with in the most ruthless of ways. Till next time, people, kill the state before it kills you.